You ever set out to make a redstone contraption with every intention of it just being like a fun little challenge, something entertaining, something that's going to add a little spice to the world, but instead it ends up being a month-long project where you spend countless hours tweaking redstone, connecting cables, and learning how the hell P2P works? I have no life. Surely it hasn't taken him an entire month to upload. Hey, I'm Vi, and welcome back to Create Astral, episode 3. Or, 30-something. I don't know. Kind of depends on who you ask. In the last episode, we set up a redstone network, and that's going to interface with our storage room and request items whenever we need them. We set up an entire bank of single item storage units by running a ton of cables over to a controller. Today, well, we got a mammoth of a task. List. It's a long list of tasks. So let's break it down for a second. Potentially one of the easiest ways to explain this is that we have 3 points of contact in this network. We have the storage room itself, we have the request network, and we have the farms. The storage system runs low on an item and sends a redstone signal to the request network via redstone links. The request network stores and decodes that request to then be sent off to the farms, where the requested items are exported to a buffer storage to be periodically picked up by the monorail. Dang man, that's a really good train. Yeah, I'm kinda awesome. The storage room and the request network are finished, but we still gotta do item shipment. But Vi, didn't you say it was going to be trucks transporting your items over the new base? Yes, it was, but that's before I realized we had monorails. And that's going to be sick. Unfortunately, on stream, we kind of decided that it was going to be best to run the monorail behind these buildings, but it's actually kind of to our benefit because this is a large area that just hasn't been developed yet in this world, and I do kind of want to make the city well-rounded. So, by having the monorail go behind these buildings, it forces me to do the work that I have been putting off for so long. This type of work can be a little bit scary because so much of the city is just flat land, and that aesthetically isn't exactly the best looking thing. I want to preserve a lot of the natural generation that's connecting up to the city, but so much of what we need is going to be flat that this next portion of the video is going to be mostly just me placing a lot of dirt. Don't worry, I've cut out a bunch of it. It isn't all that interesting. It is fairly satisfying though. We put in a ton of effort trying to terraform around the one villager house that's left from the original village, but I don't think it's going to remain. We have started a little bit of lore on stream, and we want to actually give this guy a little bit of a story. He seems to be the last holdout of the village, where the rest of the village has already been industrialized, as can be seen by the city itself. Not 100% sure what's going on inside that house, but it sounds like he's filling a ton of balloons. After putting in a ton of effort to lay down lots of grass to kind of even out the area where the monorail is going to go, we decided to go ahead and mock up our first structure. And we want these like sort of strut things to be holding up the monorail. We decided on a specific height so that if we needed to, we could actually run the monorail over the top of the trucks. We want to be able to have space between them so they don't ever clip through each other or run into each other. And I wanted to spend a bunch of time on this first iteration because this is something that's very easily copyable, and then we can just schematic canon the rest of them into the world. It saves me a ton of time, and honestly, I think overall, being able to expend this much effort on the first one in the design makes the rest of them look that much better. And honestly, I am super happy with the structure that we have put together. I wanted to keep it pretty monotoned, pretty one color, but I wanted to have like a lot of that structural integrity that you would want to have. I've missed a block. Oh, dear God. I missed a block in the schematic. They're all missing. Oh. Give me a moment. Anyway, what was I saying? Eventually, what I want to do is I want to add a monorail that extends pretty much throughout the city. I think that we're going to end up probably extending that way quite a bit. And essentially what we've done is we've run the monorail across the river here. We're going to have a couple stops over there. We might even add some infrastructure and some things over there as well. And then we have it looped over and around and back. With this segment here plotted to be a monorail station in the future, I think for passengers and whatever else we want to drop off and add here, I think that creates a nice loop, and that will allow this to kind of loop around with fairly quick delivery time. So I think next what we need to do is, I think we get the monorail installed. I think I'm going to shock absolutely no one when I say we're using the schematic cannon again. Sorry. All right, so I do already have a lot of these materials on hand. I think the one thing that we're going to run into is I'm going to need a pretty good chunk of orange dye. That's fairly easy to grab. I'm pretty sure all I really need is some... Do I not have bone meal in here? Ooh, orange dye. Cool. Let me just grab some sand and let me see if we can craft up all of the concrete we need. Anyway, I went and grabbed the chipped mod workbenches from the last big project over at the lobby and ran right back. And from there, it was just a whole bunch of crafting. Ooh, that is not enough acacia. Well, it looks like we're deforesting the savanna. All right, I am hoping we have enough now. The savanna is pretty much gone. Oh yeah, that's plenty. Perfect. And here I am again, needing end rods. God, I really got to progress in the quest book. That's really going to have to be a task for next episode. But for now, we got a little bit of a monorail time-lapse video. You ready? Oh, well, that's a problem. Okay. Well, I guess this is what we're doing now. Oh boy. Oh my gosh, he does damage. Okay, let's try that again. Ooh! Oh my god. Does he not have an axe? Oh! Got me again! Maybe I should swap to my spacesuit. Oh, okay. That is so much damage. All right, look. Wait. Hold on. Just hear me out. Hear me out. I would like to plead the Fifth Amendment. Ah, come on. That's it. I'm finishing this with my fist. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh God. That's it. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Ah. Okay. Run. Oh, I fell in a hole. Don't come after me. Don't come after me. Oh my God. That's it. Yep, we did it. Hero of the village. Yeah, get wrecked. Well, we got 6 emeralds out of that, which is crazy. Or I guess 11 emeralds. I mean, we got a few nice little things out of this. Got some nice totems. Those are always convenient to have. Whew. That was clumsy. And yeah, I think that is it. That is everything decided. Sir, you're moving, whether you want to or not. And there it is. That is the monorail complete. We are finished with it, finally. It took me like, God, it took me so long trying to get all the super glue correct. Because there's separate cars, right? And each separate car has to connect to a separate bogie and like, oh my God. In fact, I made like a replay mod of it and it looked so bad because it was so confusing that you couldn't even really tell what was happening. And also, you don't get the overlays and stuff with the super glue, whatever. I digress. It's finished, it's done, and God, it took far too long. It took far too long to figure it out. But yeah, I'll have you know that every time I had to disassemble and reassemble the monorail, I had to replace all of these chutes because they disconnect after they like get removed from being a contraption. But yeah, I think we've got like a pretty cool design here. I wanted to use a lot of these orange concrete variants. I wanted it to look pretty cyberpunky, if you will. And I tried to use like the iron, like rather the sheet metal version of the door here. And that's not something you can interact with while it's like in train form. So we're going to use the train actual like doors. We've got the front controls, the backwards controls, so he can back out like once we get an actual driver in here. He can back out if we need him to, although I'm not 100% sure if like that's going to be required at any point. I'm pretty sure I have it set up to where he's only going to be going in one direction. In the first car here, we have the driver's seat here. I was gonna center it, but honestly I kind of prefer it off to the side. But yeah, we also, in this first car, we have some like nice passenger seating. So like we can actually take the monorail places if we want to. We can take it from our industrial district on over to the large thing there. And I want to have like an actual station there. That's going to be something that we're going to build up in another episode. We also have a secondary car, also has some seating. And then the third and fourth cars both have max size item vaults. And we want these to carry all the goods. Now, it doesn't matter where the portable storage interface is on the train or the monorail. The only thing that's important is that you actually have a connection point. And I actually haven't put the portable storage interface on. And yes, that does mean I have to disassemble the entire train and re-put on all the chutes and try to remember everything. And that's going to be a pain, but I also still have to put on the end rods. So, but yeah, I'm actually super happy with this design. I think it turned out pretty good. I wanted to go for something very modern-y, but like also kind of like weirdly retro. I don't know. Cyberpunk is what I was going for. And I'll tell you what, the cyberpunk trains that they have in like the TV shows and stuff, those are not easy to emulate in Minecraft, even with mods. So I did my best. Another thing that I have not really showcased so much in this video is the connection of all of the cabling that we needed to hook up, and rather an explanation of how this all works. Obviously, getting the train to wherever it needs to pick up the goods, that's easy enough. That's, you know, that's just a train schedule, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that probably when we get the actual train schedule installed. But all the infrastructure, I think, is at a complete point. In each building, we have a separate ME system, which is going to be moving the items to and from the farm to a buffer storage. The buffer storage for this building is on the roof. It's right up here. It's our item vault right up here. And this is connected up top over to here with the cable. We have a singular cable right now. We're going to make this look a little bit better. It's going to be like an actual cool connection point type of thing. But this portable storage interface is where it will interact with the train itself. And then the only thing that we would have to do is connect this up to the ME controller down here to make sure that it actually has power to send the items. And the only thing that connects these two really is that we have the import bus here and a storage bus here. So this circuit here is actually saying this is the main inventory, the train itself, and we're trying to import all of the items that are inside our buffer storage into the train. It's not the only way to do it, or maybe even the best way, but it's easy for me because I can just stick a bunch of acceleration cards on this, and it should move all of the items pretty quickly. And I think this is the last sleep I'm going to get out of this sleeping bag. 250 uses is how many times I've used this, not including all the times that I've slept in my actual bed. I have spent thousands of days in this world, and this is the last sleep of the first sleeping bag. It's kind of sad, a little bit nostalgic. Can you enchant this with mending? Hold on. No, no enchants. We're just going to have to make ourselves a new one. Sad. Oh, it's the end of an era. It's okay, we can do a cool colored sleeping bag now. But yeah, let's go ahead and connect up that cable. That'll probably make this make more sense. So to actually connect up the cable that we've got down there, I'm going to grab just some standard cabling with some white wool. And whenever you put these in a crafting grid together, you will actually make them covered cables. These actually cause a little bit less lag, but they are essentially the same cable as the base shimmer ME glass cables. These just send light updates whenever there is like items being transferred. Essentially, it just causes a mild amount of lag. The only thing that we're going to need to connect up that secondary system to that first ME controller is some quartz fiber, and I'll show you how that works right now. But Vi, couldn't you have used P2P on this portion of it? Yeah, I could have, but I didn't want to. It's easier for me to just slap a bunch of acceleration cards because it's going to move the items faster than a chute or anything else would have. Essentially, the ME controller is going to be powering and connecting all of our circuits together. At each item that we are farming, we have a little bit of a circuit system here. And essentially, these redstone links are what's connecting us up to our request network. That's the system of redstone that's going to be actually sending signals out to these points so that we can actually send items over to our storage. This has an acceleration card and a redstone card, which means that it can be powered and depowered by redstone. Currently, it's in the mode where it's going to be active without a signal because this is going to pretty much always be on. It inverts the signal that we get from the request network. So whenever that redstone link receives a signal, it depowers the torch here, and it allows items to be transferred at an accelerated pace to our buffer storage. And our buffer storage is always going to be trying to export items out to the portable storage interface. Anytime the monorail swings by, it's just going to start taking in the items. And it won't actually leave that stop until it's actually stopped taking in items. And that's just how you set it up with the train schedule. All right, I went ahead and grabbed the train schedule really quick, just to kind of give you a brief explanation of how this part of the operation is going to work. Basically, whenever I set a stop, I can just make it anything right now. It doesn't really matter because I don't have any train station set up for the monorail yet. But if I say track station, I can go ahead and make that the stop. And you can actually change and configure what the train is waiting for in order to move to its next location. So you can give it alternate conditions. Here we can say item cargo condition, and then you can say, hey, if my train is full, it can go ahead and move on. Or whatever else you want to do. The conditions that I'm going to add for the monorail is going to be cargo inactivity. Basically, I want to make sure that no new items are being transferred into the monorail before it moves on to the next stop. And you can set the time duration on this to be kind of whatever you want, but I'm probably going to set it to be like 10 seconds because the only items that I really need to be taking in are the items that are already going to be in the buffer storage. If new items are being sent from here to there, it'll still be taking it in before the 10-second timer is up, and then the monorail will move on. So as you can see, each one of these little item collection points, we have another one of those cable setups where we have the redstone link on top, the redstone torch, which is depowering the import bus, and then the import bus trying to send the items up to the buffer storage. This cyan circuit here is actually a separate circuit. It's connected here through a quartz fiber. The only reason this is connected at all is because it has to be powered. We don't want this P2P system to be interfering with the other cables that we've run up to the buffer storage. This is merely transferring some of the items from here over to here, and that is only so that we can make more integrated circuits whenever we need them. On the backside here, we actually have a stockpile switch, which is set very low, and it actually requests items from here. Anytime that storage unit runs low over there, it's going to depower this redstone link, and then it's going to send some items via P2P over to here. And finally, the only thing that we would need to do in order to actually make this entire building set up and ready to go is to connect up this export cable, which is going to send the items over to the monorail itself. Now, obviously, our storage bus is not powered currently because this cable is not connected up to anything. But if we grab a covered cable here, we can go ahead and connect it to that point right there, run this down into the building. And like the P2P tunnel that we have over there, the only thing that we really need to do is give this a quartz fiber connection to make sure that it's powered but not running off the same network as this here. So now we have a powered connection up there. But again, this circuit here is going to be treated completely separately from the other system in there. And believe it or not, this is actually the simpler building. The metal production facility over there, that's, oh God. Let's just go take a look. Over here in the metal production facility, we had our buffer storage up here on the second floor, and this one took, well, quite a bit of finagling. I decided to set up an entirely separate ME controller to send the items out to the train itself. It's got a nice little cable facade there, and this is where the train will be picking up items from metal production facility. Again, all the items are exported into this buffer storage and then sent over. And here we have a couple larger smart cables because there's so many items in this facility. And we're sending these ones straight downward. Now, I basically divided this entire facility into like 2 cables here. We've got 1 cable here, and this is actually going to carry 8 channels. And then 1 cable here, and that's going to carry 8 channels. And 8 of these channels are going over this direction, starting here with our stone production. This is actually where we're going to be importing stone from. And then it runs down further here under the floor. And if you follow the cables underneath the ground here, it all gets rather complicated and compact. The only bit of this that's actually important to know about is that each of the connections is a storage unit, an import bus with an acceleration card and a redstone card, a redstone torch, and a redstone link. Each one of these frequencies can be easily set by just taking whatever the item is and setting the redstone link here. Oh, can't set up calcite because I don't have any. Of course. Of course. And yes, all of that is very messy. It's the most compact and cleanest way I could get it to look, and it still doesn't even really look all that clean, does it? Ugh, damn. But that is the nature of Create, isn't it? Now, each one of these connection points comes into a sum of this 1 cable going up into that ME controller there. And to make sure that these 2 didn't connect and get all confused about themselves, basically all you really have to do is throw a cable anchor in between them. I thought the cable anchors were only really useful for making cable facades. Apparently not. If you put them in between 2 cables that are the same color, they will actually separate the connection. Previously, I had actually been dyeing cables different colors to make sure that they wouldn't connect, but now that I know this is a thing, I'm definitely using this from now on. Pretty neat, right? And yeah, I'm kind of at the stage now in the video where I just kind of want it to be done. I want to be moving on to the next big project. And yeah, I think I'm just going to showcase this last little bit here. This building where we're actually processing all of the sand is another one that's pretty complicated. I ended up running the cables underneath the ground for this one as well. And this is just a regular covered cable. I ended up getting away with being able to just do 8 connection points in these circuits. For each of the items that we're producing here, we have a similar connection to what we had before. And all of these will be sending their items over to our buffer storage. Now, if I pop into FreeCam here, down underground, you can see that we're running this cyan cable all the way over to here to where the sand and things are. If I go up above here, we've got our sand connection, we've got our glass, soul sand, and then obviously we have this connection point, these connection points over here. We've got the quartz, we've got the electrified pins, and we've also got the gold. And on this side is where we ran the green cable, the lime cable, down over here. That's where we're going to be picking up our blocks of redstone, our gunpowder, the glowstone blocks, the netherrack, and then obviously we ran it up top here to make sure that the storage bus is connecting to our buffer storage. And that is, I believe, pretty much everything complete at this point. We've got everything connected up the way we need it to be connected. The only thing we need to do now is to get the monorail a driver and set up a few train stations. And here are our contestants, our candidates, if you will. I think the bear might be a little bit too big for the train. I'm thinking we use one of our snakes. And this guy, he's not orange, but he's colorful, and I like it. And I think this is our guy. How do we get this guy up there? That is the question. Oh, you can stick to the sides of block. Uh-oh, don't take damage. Don't take damage. No! Fuck! Let's, try that again. Come this way, sir. I have a job for you. Intense focus mode. Okay. Up these stairs now. No snakes have died here. Nothing to be afraid of. Walk this way. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, no, no. No, no, no. Nope. Nice. I love those seats, man. Those are so convenient. Yeah, you hiss at me all you want, but you got a job now. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a train schedule to give this guy yet because we have to actually set up the trains first. So what I think we might do instead is we might let him out of his seat. We're going to give this guy a lead, and then we're going to put him in this seat back here because I'm going to have to drive the train myself. The portable storage interface does not have to sit exactly here. I think it actually might be better if it sits in between these. I'm not 100% sure that will... Oh, that will work. Okay. That'll work great. Okay. So we'll just have to rerun these cables, and I think that'll be fine. All right. I think these two portable storage interfaces actually might be close enough together that if I park the train and I put two portable storage interfaces on it, that might actually work. And I'm not going to name this thing anything too fancy. I think I'm just going to go ahead and call it that. Let's hop back inside the train and see if we can pull up to the station. Now we can hold space to approach. And boom. We have arrived at the metal and ender pickup. And the final question is that a place that I could actually put down a portable storage interface? And I think it is. It basically is just going to go right here on top of this concrete block. And it will actually interface through the tracks itself. Let's disassemble the train and get all the portable storage interfaces connected. And I don't have a use for a portable storage interface on each of the cars, but I'm thinking, you know what? We might as well go ahead and place one. That way at least the cars will match. And that means one of each of these has portable storage interfaces connected to it. Which honestly might help us offload and load in items faster. Alright, and I believe the last thing that we're going to need to do in order to actually get this thing completely put back together is just go ahead and replace these. Alright, and I believe that is everything put back together. I think we can go ahead and reassemble our train with our portable storage interfaces connected, and we should be good to go. Again, I am kicking myself for not progressing further and getting the damn end rods. Let's go pull it over to the skyscraper, and let's see how everything lines up over there. Now, I think it's going to make the most sense if we go ahead and align the two passenger cars to this train station. Those are the ones that I'm actually going to be getting on and off. So let's see if we can get this thing aligned. All right, I think that this is actually a pretty good spot right here. It doesn't align with the portable storage interface, like next to this this taller version of the strut structure, but I think that that's okay. I think it's going to be better to have these two kind of centered on this area, and we can go ahead and have the train station be right here. Let's go ahead and call this one main skyscraper. So now we just need to get our portable storage interfaces above this. That way we import items at 3 times speed, and all of those points are fairly easy to connect to. Now currently our cable is run to this point right here, but I think with this in future becoming like an actual station, I'm pretty sure we're going to be walking up this area here. it might be better if we run the cable over to this side here, which I believe is where the cable actually comes down at. Yeah. It's going to make way more sense for us to go just straight across here and then out to one of these. I think we just make the cable part of the structure. That should be... Ooh, idea time. We run the cable underneath and then up through the center. Alright, now this is a bit of an eyesore, but what I'm thinking is if we raise the entire portion of this part of the roof to this height right here, we can actually cover that up with cable facades pretty easily. And it gets us closer to that height of the actual monorail itself, which is actually up a block from there. Now my thought is to go ahead and send this up straight through the middle here and see if we can find a way to get it around the track there. And you know what? That is actually pretty well concealed right there. The only thing I really need to do is get an importer there, and I think I'm good to go. And that is actually all the cables connected up over here at the main base. We've got maxed out importers on each of these portable storage interfaces, which are now connected through the monorail train track. It's kind of hard to see, but you can actually see them doing the little kissy right there on each one of these. And the system is currently attempting to import any and all contents of the monorail. And at this point, there's only one more stop to add. All right, now we just need to get a train station set up here at this last location, over here in the sand processing facility. Currently, I have this one portable storage interface hooked up right here, but I think it's going to be better if I have the train pull all the way forward to that point. Partially because I think the more and more I work around this loop here, the less I actually like it. I think I'm going to probably end up replacing this, and we're going to send the train underground, probably through that side of the city, and maybe even through the ocean over there if we want to do it that way. I think it's just going to work out a lot better. One of the funny things about these monorails is that there's no collision box for the curves. So if I try to step out here, there's nowhere for me to walk on. So basically I have to try to get from here over to there in a single double jump. Oh, and I barely made it. Okay. But yeah, if I go ahead and put a train station like right here, and we call this sand processing monorail. Wow, Vi, really creative. Hush, inner me. And then I go ahead and place some portable storage interfaces up top up here. I should be able to just put one portable storage interface right there and another portable storage interface right above this one here. And as crazy as it sounds, that is actually kind of it for now. All I really have to do is get our driver into place, give him a train schedule, and this train is officially done. Y'all, I just realized I wasn't recording for the last, I don't even know how long, but we ended up getting a bunch of the train signals in place. I have a lot of things up here temporarily. Obviously, the train signals can stay here on top of this structure permanently, but some of the more floaty bits probably don't belong. If you don't know anything about train signals and how they operate, basically it allows you to dictate where a driver is going to take a train, or I guess a monorail in this case. And the long and short of it is, after each intersection, you just need to have a train signal. It's just kind of the easiest way to think about it. So like intersection here, obviously we need the train to be going this way. After the T, there needs to be a signal here. And then before the T over here, there needs to be a signal. The entirety of the monorail loop from all the way over to there, all the way back around to here is all actually one way currently. There's no other crossings or anything like that. The only thing that we're going to need to do is to have a train signal right here, making sure that we don't go straight instead of turning on the curve right there. So one of the last train signals I think we need is going to be one here, dictating that we want this to be kind of a one-way straight away here. Then we need one up there on the curve, which is going to be difficult to get through. I love this. Put the trains in the air, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Now these two signals are set, meaning that this should go in one direction. It'll go that way, all the way back around. And the only thing we need to do now is make sure that all the signals on the loop on the far end over there are completely set up. Essentially, we need to make sure that this is dictated as a two-way stretch of the monorail. We need to make sure it's always going to go right. All right, and that being there should make sure that the monorail only ever goes right and circles around. And I believe that is actually everything done. We just have to give our train signal or our train schedule to our snake driver over there. And then there is probably one more bit that we need to take care of, because there is a stretch of the train track which actually runs into the ground. I actually kind of found this out the hard way and almost died driving over there. So we need to make sure that is cleared out. But after that, I think everything's done. I've been working on this project for so long, like I don't know what it feels like to complete a project. I've been trying my best to get all of this done within the 3 episodes. It is pretty bare bones. It doesn't look all that great yet, but we're almost there. That is more than enough space. And all right, I believe that is pretty much all of the space that we would need cleared out. I hope that we don't run into any other problems. Eventually I'm gonna end up terraforming this into something else or end up changing the way this goes entirely, but for now it is operational, it's working, it's beautiful, and let's make sure Mr. Snake doesn't run into any issues. Let's finally give him his train schedule. Alright, I believe it is finally time to give you your schedule. I do kind of wonder if this guy can actually drive the train. He's from a mod. I don't know. Let's just see what happens. Oh, he doesn't get his fancy hat. I'm so sad. Let's take a train around the loop and we'll see what happens. Very nice. First stop unscathed. Okay. We're gonna wait here for about 10 seconds. We've progressed through all of those train signals just fine. Making it up the turn just fine. Approaching the skyscraper. And we'll stop right here, which we should then connect to our portable storage interfaces. Yes, and the train is empty, so it's just going to move on right away. Now this is the bit that's a little bit scary. I'm hoping the snake doesn't run into anything. I hope I dug out enough space. Ooh, just barely. Just barely. Oh, I also forgot to get rid of those dark pillars. Although he doesn't look like he's having any issues. I think we're good to go. Alright, we're progressing through here just fine. That's fantastic news. Going around the big loop. And that's it. That is the train complete. It is now forever going to be running around the track in a loop. Look at our little snake boy go. Look at the little hiss. I love it. And while not everything is completely buttoned up on our system, I think I'm going to have to go ahead and call it right there. I far exceeded my time allotted for this video as well, and honestly, I'm having a great time. Even though it took like literally a month to do all this work and stuff, I'm in a really happy spot, I think. I appreciate you so much for watching. If you liked the video, like it. If you want to subscribe, do it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye. We still need 4 more names. Leave them in the comments.